The billionaire CEO suffered from face blindness, but on this particular day, he could suddenly see his secretary's face clearly. That evening, at the same location, the CEO arranged to meet his blind date. Although the CEO had previously confessed his feelings to his blind date based on reasons other than her appearance, having never been able to see faces clearly before, he desperately wanted to remember what the woman he liked looked like. When his blind date appeared, the CEO felt extremely nervous and excited. However, the results left the CEO deeply disappointed. His blood pressure and heart rate remained normal, so once again, the CEO failed to realize that his secretary and his blind date were the same person. The CEO began to think he was approaching this the wrong way. He pulled the woman in front of him and had her stand in the same position as his secretary. The CEO even repeatedly adjusted the angle of the woman's head. Seeing this behavior, the woman became confused and asked what the CEO was doing. Only then did the CEO realize he had been acting somewhat inappropriately. The woman had a specific reason for pretending to be the CEO's blind date. The CEO's actual blind date was being pressured into marriage, but she didn't have feelings for the CEO. Upon learning that the woman had been impersonating her, she asked the woman to break up with the CEO on her behalf. The woman mimicked the blind date's tone of voice and delivered the line she had been rehearsing for a long time. However, feeling guilty, she avoided making eye contact with the CEO while speaking. The woman intended to leave immediately after delivering the breakup speech, but the CEO refused to let her go. He wanted to know whether the woman's new romantic interest was wealthier or more handsome than he was. The woman felt increasingly guilty. Seeing the CEO's hurt expression, she began to soften. However, she knew this breakup was necessary, or else the deception would eventually be exposed. The CEO had no intention of giving up. This was the first time in his 30 years of being single that he had developed feelings for a woman. He asked the woman to be his girlfriend for 12 hours, giving him a chance to prove himself. If after 12 hours the woman still didn't have feelings for him, he would let her go. Looking into the CEO's sincere eyes, the woman's heart softened. The CEO then stepped aside to call his doctor, asking what he needed to do to see other people's faces clearly, even if just for 1 minute. While the doctor was trying to find a solution for the CEO, he turned to glance at the woman and suddenly felt at peace. He realized that instead of desperately trying to see the other person's face, he should cherish these 12 hours of being together. When the woman looked at the CEO, she suddenly no longer wanted to continue being his secretary. She wanted to be his girlfriend instead. The woman decided to genuinely date the CEO during these 12 hours. However, while they were taking a walk together, the CEO noticed the woman's hand when she unconsciously tucked her hair behind her ear. The CEO discovered that the bandage on the woman's hand was identical to the one his secretary wore. Afraid of being discovered, the woman quickly explained that there were many identical bandages like this one. The CEO, however, thought the location of the woman's injury was remarkably similar to his secretary's. To divert the CEO's attention, the woman took his hand and placed both their hands together in his pocket, explaining that this was how real couples behaved.